But you feel me? This is my fault. This is Old Meezy. The corner zip movement is turning into something nasty. Hey, let's see what he talking about, man. Shout out to me.
Nike tag. We don't do coffee. It's straight quarter zips and matchas around here.
We don't do Nike tags, we don't do coffees, we drink matchas and wear quarter zips, gang. We don't do those type of stuff no more. And I go to school now and I read books, bro. And I go
So boom. Well, okay, now I'm getting the gist of what the quarter zip movement is. So basically, y'all basically trying to say y'all too good, you feel me, for Nike takes, and you feel me, whatever y'all trying to say that shit ghetto. Okay, now I'm getting what is going. I see what you putting down.
to the library. I don't do those activities no more.
Rule number one, as soon as you put on a quarter zip, you become an elitist. Any man that doesn't have one next to you is a peasant, respectfully speaking.
Okay. First things first. Let's look at the person who is talking. Let's look at this person's fit. My apologies. I know why. So look, let's examine this person's fit before he's talking crazy like this. Someone who doesn't have a quarter zip equals a peasant. My nigga, are you drunk? So boom. I ain't gonna lie. The fit you got on, I ain't gonna lie. I don't got nothing bad to say about it. I ain't gonna lie. My nigga, you're clean. With 3 different colors, nigga. Your pants and your shoes not even matching, my nigga. But I'm gonna give you a pass though. So boom. But I ain't gonna lie, nigga. You ugly as shit. You look like Bobby Shmurda, and if Bobby Shmurda and Shaq West had a baby, you ugly as shit. I ain't gonna lie. Your head looks like you. My fault. Okay. I'm acting a bit out of my element right now. Let's go back to the full screen. So look, this is what I'm gonna say about this though. I'm gonna say about the quarter zip movement, from everything that I'm hearing right now, it's definitely about to get to a point motherfuckers is talking crazy about. I guess if you don't have a quarter zip hoodie, you're a thug. Like come on, my nigga. You're trying to take away things or staples in the black community. Now I'm starting to peep where everything is going down. So we gonna continue and see what Old Meezy gotta say about it. That's just from everything I picked up so far.
Quarter zip, you become an elitist. Any man that doesn't have one next to you is a peasant, respectfully speaking.
I just saw a white man comment, the quarter zip movement is doing more for the black community than the Black Lives Matter movement.
Okay, I swear. A white man has said out of his mouth, the quarter zip movement has done more for the black community than the Black Lives Matter movement. I'm sorry, I said it wrong, but you out your rabbit bitten fucking mind. Look, that. Now, on some real shit though. Like what he said, look, on the surface it doesn't look racist, but on my life that shit is racist. You gotta think deep, not wide, with what the fuck he said. He said people by saying that this person who was killed and shot, other than people just changing how the fuck the way that they dress, to dress more white to appease you, has done more for the black community than fucking Black Man's Life, man. You out your fucking mind. I'm sorry, I ain't gonna lie. This is something I'm a known activist. You know what I'm saying? I'm pro-black all the way, every way through. You feel me? We not even 30 seconds into this video and I'm already knowing what this shit's about. We gonna let it play for a bit so we can get more, you know what I'm saying? But fuck, bro.
Ever could. And I would just like to take this time to remind y'all that respectability politics will never save the black community.
I'm telling you right now, the CIA will not let the black community slide with wearing quarter zips.
Quarter zip trend is a recession indicator, and a stone cold post-2000s great recession indicator at that.
Over the past couple of days, the quarter zip movement has gone from being something cutesy, something to celebrate, something to be funny with, you know, get nice and dressed up about, to something that is turned very anti very, very quickly.
No, the funny thing is, hey, my nigga, you got the quarter zip on right now too.
It went from being a celebration of young men showing off their different and unique styles, dibbling and dabbling into different clothing pieces and being unique, into these nasty conversations revolving around anti-blackness, respectability, politics, and just overall gross sentiments, stereotypes, and overgeneralizations. Now, as a young man myself who has been wearing stuff like Nike Techs, blazers, you know, business casual.
For sure, like I wear Nike Techs. I wear blazers, you feel me? I wear turtlenecks, you feel me? I'm somebody who likes to keep up with myself, and I'm somebody who's into fashion. I like to dibble and dabble into a lot of different things. I even wear street clothes, you feel me? Street fashion. Like my last video I shot on the main YouTube channel was seeing how much what's the best streetwear outfit I can buy from Amazon with only $100 budget. See, my fashion can go from anywhere from a turtleneck to streetwear to anything, but I'm saying, but by you saying that anyone with a quarter zip doesn't have a quarter zip is a peasant is fucking crazy. But we gonna continue though. I want Omeezy to continue to break this down so we can get more and more info on this. But like, that's what I'm saying.
Attire for my job and all throughout elementary, middle, and high school. I feel like I'd be the perfect person to talk about as to why this whole quarter zip movement is a little bit nasty.
Watch where you walking.
What did you... Wait a minute. I'm white.
I remember growing up through the uniform era of schools where people were pushing for uniforms being a common thing in public schools, just like they were in private schools. Even though my school never enforced uniforms, I remember my mom making it a very, very, very strong point of contention to have me and my brother wear khakis and a polo shirt Monday through Thursday at school. We got to wear jeans on Friday. And all of it was tied to this idea that wearing some sort of business casual attire makes you a better person.
To start a podcast with Riverside, all you need is a concept and a way to record it.
Is it just me, or is it when you put on a quarter zip that the game just changes? Like, I just feel like a different person.
See, over the past couple of years, there's been these connotations associated with wearing a shiesty, wearing a Nike Tech.
I ain't gonna lie. Look, one thing I want to say, the nigga that just said that, hey chat, who's gonna tell him? Nigga, you're chopped with or without it, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie, who's gonna tell him? Shit, you with the quarter zip is not gonna save you. I ain't gonna hold you. But we gonna continue though.
And it's something that has been a repeat of different eras and different generations. When I was growing up, I remember it was wearing a big baggy jersey or baggy pants. I remember the conversations about wearing braids and how that was somehow tied to unprofessionalism, disgusting behavior. Hell, dreads, I think, are still attached to the connotation that it's messy, dirty, disgusting, etc., etc. But there's a common theme in all of this, and I'm going to touch on it a little bit later in the video, is that only seems that when one community wears or does these certain things that it's attributed with these words. It's not like a universal truth, right? But nevertheless, the 2025 version of why identifying some sort of article of clothing is the Nike Tech to quarter zip conversation. I'm gonna be a little bit of a hater right here. Quarter zips is like bare minimum business casual activities, to be quite honest.
No, real talk. Look. If we talking about real business casual, quarter zip is low on the echelon. Like y'all niggas is talking like y'all niggas is wearing full blown suits out here. I'm not gonna lie, y'all niggas is not like that. Y'all niggas do not really be dressing up for real. I'm a nigga who dresses up for fun. I have different suits and shit in my wardrobe. You feel me? Not to compare or anything, but I'm saying this to say this. Because somebody can wear a Nike Tech, because someone can wear streetwear fashion, doesn't put them in a different light. You know what I'm saying? It's the person itself. You can meet the most evil, manipulative person on it with a business outfit on. That shit doesn't fucking matter, my nigga. It doesn't. You feel me? But we gonna continue though. This is something I'm just passionate about, of course, about my black
I digress.
community.
I think that this quarter zip movement opens up the conversation of like, why is it that when black people do a certain thing, it's always labeled as unprofessional, ghetto, etc., etc. And why is it that moving off that certain thing always makes you professional or better or whatever the case may be?
So I get the question a lot about dreads or just like having hair in general being professional. It seems like a lot of parents in the black community, especially Africans, believe that having hair is not professional and it makes you look ghetto, raggedy, whatever the terms are, man. Obviously, I'm a young man and I have hair. I'm growing dreads right now. And personally, I see no problem with this. If you still have the belief that black men can grow.
Wait. So you don't think that that's a problem? I thought he was going to say that he understands their point of view, but he should say that because... Now, look. I'm saying this to say this. Hold on. Like my hair as of right now, I don't have dreads, but I have longer hair as you guys see right now. When I put on suits and things like that, I don't give a fuck what people think. Like, look, it doesn't matter if your hair is short for it to look professional. That's like saying people with hair like Jesus. It's like saying people with hair like that are unprofessional. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just a staple in your community. And for you to say that people with dreads and things like that, if it's kept clean, it shouldn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But of course, if it's like nappy and things like that, it needs to... You need to be somebody who keeps up with yourself groomingly wise. But let's continue though.
Grow out their hair, man. Like, it's 2024. I thought we were past that. Especially for my parents watching this video, you got to think about it like this. By telling your kids that they can't grow out their hair because, oh, you might be viewed differently. Having dreads make you look unprofessional. I can't blame you, but you're the problem. You're the one that's feeding into this narrative that hair makes us look ghetto or it's unprofessional, it looks unkept. So you are part of the problem.
I'm not too old to remember when a lot of content creators on this platform cut their dreads off. It was even a big deal in the commentary space. People made videos about it. Content creators like Black Boy Max or Young Don were people who cut their dreads off. And while they did it for their own reasons, I remember the reception around it where people were saying, oh my God, thank God he...
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, me personally, I'm not the type of person that does, like, I'm not cutting my hair. I don't give a fuck if Ja Morant cuts his dreads off. I'm not cutting my fucking hair because I like my hair a certain way. You feel me? I've had short hair past when I was like I had the fro and shit for a long time, but like my hair like this, it's like how I want it. I don't give a fuck if people think it looks unprofessional. I'm somebody who carries myself in a certain type of way, so it's gonna look professional. I'm somebody who keeps my hair and upkeep in a certain way, so it is professional. People who thinks that if your hair is long, that's unprofessional, you're a part of the problem.
Did that. He looks better. He looks more professional. And a lot of that was tied to just the most anti-black sentiments that I've ever heard in my life. And it's a shame because a lot of people, even though there is evidence that kind of disproves that, or it should be called out, believe that, yo, if you have a certain type of look or a certain type of aesthetic, then, hey, you won't be hired or you won't be able to move up in your day-to-day life.
As a black man, you have to cut your hair to move up in this world, brother.
I don't even know. That's so nasty.
That's not my side of the internet, so I don't see a lot of anti-black.
Now, I know what you're probably thinking, Omar.
Because I'm very pro-black.
And trust me, I don't actually have a problem with people wearing the quarter zips. It's just a conversation surrounding it. And every time that we talk about these things, people love to sprinkle in their anti-black sentiment. I want young black men and young black people in general just to know, like, you can be yourself. You can be the individual and you can still stick to the trend. Because the reality of it is that it's only ghetto and unprofessional because you're doing it. Nobody cares when the white kids do it. Nobody cares when the Asian kids do it. Nobody cares when the Hispanic kids, I can't necessarily say. But I remember when they forced black youth to really look hard about baggy pants and bigger t-shirts, etc., etc. And now, all of a sudden, in the big 2-5, that is the go-to standard for clothing and outfits. And nobody's saying that these kids look ghetto or unkept or whatever the case may be. They're calling them stylish and fashion icons. But what people are missing out on is that all of this conversation is tied to respectability politics. And respectability politics overwhelmingly affect one group of people, and it shouldn't.
Quarter zip or Nike Tech, you deserve to be respected regardless. You can be.
Thank you. Okay, now look. Now we have somebody in front of us that has a brain. Now, with respectability, you should always treat somebody with respect until that they disrespect you. That's how I move. I keep people at a mutual respect, no matter who the person is, no matter what you do, until you disrespect me or make me feel some type of way that I'm like, yeah, get the fuck away from me. But it's never to do anything with who that person is. It's always the matter of their actions. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like what. Now look, racism is something that, depending on, look, if somebody makes you feel some type of way because their skin tone, or if somebody makes you feel some type of way of their religion, or you know what I'm saying, something along those types of natures, and you're against those people because of that, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying that to say this. Everybody should have equal footing and equal chance until they are proven with their actions that they don't deserve that chance. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue. I know I was on a little yap session there, but like, I like where he's going with this.
A terrible person in a quarter zip and a great person in Nike Tech, and vice versa. Y'all be letting respectability politics play in your ass, genuinely. You don't have to conform to white versions of professionalism to be seen as a respectable person. Oh, I used to be a YN that drank Hennessy and wore Nike Techs, but now I'm a professional black person with a quarter zip on and drinking matcha. And I know you guys are gonna hit my comments and say it's just a joke, it is not that deep. However, you can demonize a lot of stuff by just making something a joke. When you guys say, oh, that's gay as hell, you're being homophobic, but it's just a joke. When a white person says, oh, that's ghetto, he's being racist, but that's just a joke. When y'all say, oh, your back is big as hell, you're being fat phobic, but it's just a joke. You see the point that I'm making here? You don't need white man paperwork to be respected. You don't.
I think all of this ties back into the professionalism conversation that we've been having over the course of the past year. You know, we've been criticizing the teachers, we've been criticizing the doctors, we've been criticizing the pilots, etc., etc. But every time that I hear these conversations about professionalism, it is overwhelmingly only impacting one group of people specifically, and really no other group gets called out about their anti-professional ways.
I think professionalism is inherently anti-black.
I love this take because people are so vehemently opposed to it when they first hear it, but after they give it some time, they're usually much more receptive. My favorite part about this take is that it immediately forces you to recognize the fact that professionalism is almost intrinsically like non-existent.
I don't think professionalism is non-existent, but like I feel like certain like I'll say like certain boxes. Now look, let me explain this. Certain boxes of professionalism is anti-black. Now look, I'm not saying you have to wear quarter zips or something, but like depending on what your job is, of course you should have uniform, you know what I'm saying? But look, like if you're outside of work, you should be able to wear anything without you getting looked at some type of way. That's how I feel like. But boom, this is what I'm gonna say this. Like how people say your hair should be tied up, like depending on, like people can tie up their dreads, like, but it doesn't have to be cut or like have it in a you know what I'm saying? But look, this is what I'm trying to say. Like it just depends on the box of it. Like I don't believe professionalism is all anti-black, but it definitely is like a high portion of it.
And the whole concept of professionalism is just tone policing on a larger scale. I can't speak for professional cultures globally, but professional cultures in America exist almost exclusively to squelch black concepts and black identity. Well, the idea that everyone in the workplace has to look the same, has to have the same general attire. I mean, knowing what time of American history that came from kind of already clues you in on the fact that that was so that people who were poorer were not allowed to work somewhere. But even brought into today, if you wear clothes that are affiliated with blackness, people can be like, oh, that's unprofessional. With really...
Damn, my fault. I had my cam over Amizu the whole time. Hold on. Let me move my cam a bit up just so it's not on top of Amizu real quick. Let me move my cam just for at least this video at least. No, but I know he always has his cam down there, so we're gonna just leave it here for the next few videos.
No basis on what that means, no basis on how that impacts your job, how that impacts your ability to work. They can just say you're unprofessional. This is not a professional attire for our professional environment.
In my experience in working in corporate America, I've seen things, specifically clothing items, be attributed to a certain group of people and also be attributed to unprofessionalism. And one example I know of my coworkers to be wearing Jordans while at work, a sneaker for what it's worth. And we're not talking about some crazy colorway, which shouldn't necessarily matter. But we're talking about a simple black and red colorway to go with his black pants and his red shirt. Dressing like a damn Target employee, if you ask me. But said coworker was called out by management simply due to the fact that he was wearing Jordans. This is a sneakers environment, but because...
Now look, now that's weird. Now look, if the job itself is to, you know what I'm saying, wear sneakers and things like that, it shouldn't matter what sneakers there are unless they are sneakers. But if they're supposed to be non-slip shoes and they're wearing Jordans, now it's a problem. But y'all get what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying it just depends on which box. Like non-slip shoes, if you're working in a restaurant, because y'all know y'all gonna slip in regular gym shoes, but like I said, if he's working at Target and they're talking about him about wearing Jordans, come on, bro. In the application it says I'm supposed to wear sneakers. I'm wearing sneakers. I can wear some fucking Jordans if I want to. You fucking bitch. But yeah, let's continue though. But yeah, that's That's basically why I said, like, it just depends on which box. You know what I'm saying? Like, real nigga shit.
Jordans had this connotation towards him. He got called out for it. Now, this is not me telling people to ditch the idea of getting any sorts of sweaters, button-ups, quarter zips, trousers, suits, or whatever the case may be. Because statistically speaking, at the end of the day, that stuff does matter in an interview. And hey, call it performative if you want. Omar's not gonna pay your bills. I do want you to get a job. But I think what has to be put in the forefront of people's minds is that the goalpost is forever moving. When I was growing up, the stuff that they wear in Silicon Valley, the t-shirts and the jeans and stuff like that would have never been acceptable in a workplace. And now that is damn near the standard in a lot of industries.
Having to dress business casual or business professional is super dumb. Like, if that's how you like to dress, go ahead, wear what you like wearing. But that being required for some things is kind of weird. Because if you really think about it, there was probably just some rich dude one day who wore suits all the time, and then that became the standard. But who's to say suits are really professional? If people started wearing suits for streetwear, then they wouldn't be professional anymore. So really, it's all arbitrary.
I wear suits sometimes for streetwear. You feel me? It doesn't mean that it's unprofessional, but it doesn't mean that it is professional. Like, it just depends on the environment, like I was saying.
Shorts isn't professional. Adam Sandler's rich and conducts business, and that's what he wears. And suits be mad expensive. I feel like the concept was kind of created to price certain people out of a certain job. But maybe I'm tripping.
So now the quarter zip has become some sort of trend, and people are talking down on the way that black people have dressed over the past couple of years. The stuff that these trends and little jokes give power to is honestly insane. I'm now seeing these content creators who have been labeled as white their whole lives, you know, got picked on or bullied for the way that they speak and talk, come from the pits of, I don't know where, their corporate job, and are getting off think pieces about how black people are now trying to replicate them because they're more successful.
The quarter zip trend doesn't make sense to me, albeit because I am what they are trying to replicate.
Oh yeah, we know you get no bitches. I'm sorry. Yeah. But yeah, my nigga, hey, we know you get no bitches. But look though, it's okay. Hey, my nigga. Quarter zips is not my personal stilo, so you can have it. You know what I'm saying? But look though, I'm saying this to say this. Because you wear a quarter zip doesn't mean that you're more successful than other people, my nigga. Who's gonna tell them? There's people that wear streetwear fashion that has clothing brands that touch more money than you ever have in your entire life. So you wearing a quarter zip doesn't make you better than the average black man. You're just a black man that chooses to dress like that. You feel me? That's why I don't like people that dress certain types of way just to feel better than other people. I don't like that.
Okay, but
if you like
then
it,
I realized that is the commentary. I've talked about before how there is a group of black people who genuinely does not know that black people like me exist. And previously the idea was, okay, sure, they exist, but it's one of them in a group of 99 white people. And so this one black person is trying to be white by doing these things, dressing this way, carrying themselves in this way, etc., etc. However, because of social media, now they're suddenly being exposed to this. So it's not, oh, this one black person is trying to fit in with all of these white people. It's like, oh, there are actually several black men who look like this and act like this. So now it's okay because I can dress like this and be copying a black man rather than copying a white man and trying to be white.
No, my nigga, nobody. No, well, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe they trying to copy your stilo, but my nigga, hey, that's really not the move. Well, I ain't gonna lie. If they feel like better people by wearing that shit, let them. But don't bring down the whole entire black community because you think that you wearing a fucking clothing item makes you better than other black people. It doesn't make sense, my nigga. Who's gonna tell them?
I do think it's signaling a shift because the pendulum is always going to swing. So you went to this very super casual look a mess part of the spectrum, and now you're going to swing back to people looking like they care about themselves. And especially when you're seeing hip-hop starting to fade out of the zeitgeist, people getting
give it all up. Get the anti-blackness out there.
Things, I do think that it is a small indicator of the pendulum starting to swing the other way.
Oh, you got these people, man. Just say you hate black culture and just be
I
on
promise
with your life,
you,
I swear. Now, I do believe that there is an indicator that isn't being talked about in this whole
I just can't respect people that don't like their own blackness. You know what I'm saying?
And that is the indication of a recession indicator.
Why
You
would
see,
you
in the
wanna be
past, people used to
anything
wear
else
business
but
casual clothes just out and about. If you go through the different movements that Jay-Z has put on, that Kanye West has put on, Pharrell, Snoop Dogg, hip-hop, athletes, whatever the case may be, people wore polos, people wore sweaters, people wore blazers, people wore all these things. And a large portion of the reason why it was co-opted by regular people in the mainstream media is because there was no money around. But you had to have some sort of professional clothing. Hell, that's what your ancestors taught you. And you still wanted to get fly and impress. So people started to wear different business casual clothing to malls, to clubs, to gatherings, to outings and stuff like that.
If we look back at the 08 recession, it's crazy how much of the signs of it coming are reflected in what we are seeing now almost 20 years later. We can start with the quarter zips, which is not a bad trend by any means, but it reminds me of when everybody was going to parties and clubs wearing business casual in the early 2000s. A lot of people argue that that trend started based on the club discrimination that we often still see today. Like if a club doesn't want black people, they usually can't just say that. But they can ban what they think black people like to wear. Thus the business casual in the club. And that marked the time period of the Great Recession, like what a lot of people like to call recession pop did.
No, I ain't gonna lie. There is some clubs that I do know in Chicago. I don't know about up here because I don't really be going out like that. But I do know there's some clubs in Chicago that are business casual only. You know what I'm saying? And no, I've been to like a all white type of party that like they didn't allow jeans in there. I don't think it's because, well, I ain't gonna lie, it is because they want it to be a certain type of way. So yeah.
Recession pop was the music that was coming out around that time. Think LMFAO, Flo Rida, early Kesha, early Lady Gaga, Nicki Minaj's whole first album, and even early Soulja Boy. But the idea that the demand for escapist, high-energy party songs with a fun or outright positive vibe would go up at a time when your average American would value an escape from a day-to-day life being heavily influenced by the economic downturn that caused the foreclosure, divorce, and unemployment rates to spike at that time.
All in all, this is just the same story, new day for what's going on in the cultural movement and the zeitgeist of culture, fashion, politics, everything. And it all started with the damn quarter zip. There are some dog whistles laced into the conversation. A lot of the videos that I consumed when this movement first came out was a ton of light-skinned dudes telling their dark-skinned friends that they're ghetto and unprofessional, which I had a problem with being a dark-skinned brother.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, my nigga, now look. Hey, not all light skins are like that. Look, like I said, hey, my niggas, I got a Nike Tech on right now. But I'm saying that to say this. I wear both. I don't wear quarter zips because it's not my stilo. But I'm saying I wear turtlenecks. I wear things like that, you know what I'm saying, regularly. Like, I have damn near almost any color turtleneck from white, cream, black, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but I'm saying that to say this, because you wear a certain type of clothing doesn't make you better than other people that wear street clothing, because I love my street fashion as well. I have a street fashion clothing brand coming out soon, so you feel me?
But I laughed it off ultimately. I do think it's cool to see that there are young people that can, put some sort of professional attire on. I was scared for a little while, especially after seeing all those videos of young people going to interviews wearing God knows what. Because even though it is discriminatory, hey, do what you got to do to get a job. But ultimately, things like this and Subway bringing back the $5 footlong lets me know that there is a recession coming around the corner. And hell, it is already here. I just don't want young black men to ever lose themselves in the music, the moment. You won't never.
A foot long has went from $5 all the way up to $13 at Subway. Y'all remember that $5? Look, y'all remember that commercial? $5 foot long, many. I forgot what's the rest. It is a foot long. But look though, I'm saying that to say this. Now them bitches are fucking $13 a piece, a pop. $13 for a Subway sandwich. Them bitches used to be $5. Yeah, we been in a recession, gang. We just noticing.
let it go. You only got one shot to be young, and then after that, you're not gonna be putting on quarter zips and, you know, dad's shoes for fun. You're gonna be doing it out of necessity. Might I propose
Even
a little
Little
bit of a
Caesar's
compromise?
price is going up.
This quarter zip right here is tech fleece material. You know, Unc is still doing his business casual thing, but simultaneously, I'm just like the YNs. I don't know. Try to get into the middle ground.
Imagine being able.
But one thing that's never gonna switch up on us is the Arizona. You feel me? Arizona, hey, I love you to death, my brother. But